Okay, so the developer console basically will help you to develop the code through the developer consoles. So generally, you need to have a tool to develop the coding, right? So if you go and develop like Apex classes or Visual Force page or triggers or like a Lightning component or web component, if you're doing any development work, so you need to have any tools. So the editor basically. So VS Code or like a Sublimes or like you need to have a kind of editor. So generally, like we will use a VS Code. So through VS Code, we will go and create like all the fields and like from the VS Code itself, like you can do all the configurations. But to avoid that, so easily you can use the developer console. So developer console is basically it's a tool where admin or developer, basically developer can go and write a code, but admin, what you can do here, you may run the test classes or you can run like a fields, you can check the queries, like let's say if you know how to do the query, like you can go and query it. So what you can do, go to file. So this is a window, basically developer console. So here menu tab, like if I look at here, like here this is a SQL query where you can do the query and it will show like if there is any error or anything. And this is a history panel, like where you will get all the history. So if you can hide this, hide or open, like and here these are all the menu. So if I go for a file menu, so the new will help you to create a new stuff. So basically this is for developer, Apex class, triggers, Visual Force page, component, static resource, Lightning applications, Lightning component, Lightning interface, Lightning event, Lightning token. So these are all like the user can go and create it, like basically developers. And the open will help you to open the existing component which is available in your org. Open source means including object, the Apex classes, everything. Like if I select that, see here, it will give all the component, everything will be included in the open options or the open resource options. Now if I click open, this open will help you to segregate like the information separately. So what do you want to open? Do you want to open a class? Do you want to open the trigger or pages or page component or object? Even you can search for an object also. So let's say we have an object called employee, right? Employee or customer. So for example, like there is a object called employee. Yeah. So just double click. It will give you all the fields. Now, if you want to query the fields, you can select like a multiple fields. Query. See here, it will generate automatically the query. And execute. So it will query all the record. It will show the result over here. You'll see here. There are 30 records and each record. And now if you want to go for a detail page, here also directly you can open a detail page. So on the pop-up window, so select and open detail mode, edit mode, or create a new records. So refresh the grids. Yeah, so these are all the functionality you can perform in a developer console. So especially for admin, you can do like these stuffs. This again, open Lightning resources. This is mainly for Aura component. I would say Lightning component, not Lightning web component. To create a Lightning web component, you need to have an editor at the moment. You have to have a VS Code. Without editor, you cannot create a Lightning web component. But Lightning Aura component, yes, can be created from developer console itself. So Aura component is different, web component is different. Same way, Visual Force page, again, it's a older style, like you can create a Visual Force page here itself, Aura component here itself, Lightning application, Lightning component. Yeah, Aura means like a Lightning component. So Lightning interface, Lightning event, Lightning token. But a Lightning web component, which is not available here. So, but to do that, you have to go for VS Code at the moment. Maybe like, in future, like you will get it here itself. Okay. So again, these are all like if already there is a log, like you can save, like if you're doing any edits. So for example, like if I go and create a Visual Force page, day one Visual Force page, I put like, So again, here you can do plain HTML code. Yeah. So if you want to preview it, save and preview. See here. If you want to align center, you can put a style, or what you can do, just to use one table tag. Okay. So as soon as if you click free, now it will align center. So like that, you can go and modify the pages. This is just for an example of Visualforce page. The same way you can create like other pages. Like, yeah, again, this is for developer, not for the admins. And there are other tools. Like if you, this is the find tool, basically, like if you want to find like any wordings here, like you can search it. There is an option debug. So do you want to execute anonymous window? So here itself, you can write a code. Now, for example, if you want to update the account record, so list of account, you want to query all the employees. So list of employee, emp is equal to new of list of employee emp is equal to, I can query it. So same query I will copy paste. Yeah. Now if I try to print this emp value, it contain like system.debug. I can print this. Now, whenever if you run the code like in the anonymous window, so there is option open log. See here, this is the log. Now this contain all your employee records. So it will be stored like all the lines. So it will come all the lines basically. Okay. So how many query you are running? This log again, it's completely developer. So yeah. So again, in order to test the test classes, these are all like for development purpose, not for the admin purpose. So I don't think so. Other than this, like yeah, as admin, like you will go and use these developer consoles. The similar way for Workbench. So if I go for a Workbench, Workbench is the another one more tool where admin can go and utilize the behaviors. Like you can go and query the record, you can export it, you can do the import operations, even you
Just
throw
like a data loader, right?
similar to data loader. And other than that, like you can see like a lot of information in the Workbench. So if I go for an Workbench now, so here, if you want to query it, here you can select the object. So employee, so simply you can select and it will query. Yeah. And if you want to do import up, like insert, update, upset, delete, update, purge, so all this operation you can perform using the Workbench also. And also, if you want to deploy from one environment to another environment, let's say like you have a sandbox and you want to push that information into a productions, so you can use either change set or using like a deployment tool. So deploy means to deploy into a target org. Retrieve means in order to download the information from the org. And these are all query, like basically you can execute here like all the SQL query, asynchronous queries. SOSL is basically Salesforce search language. So generally this is also for development purpose. So in order to search a string in Salesforce, like we will go for a SOSL queries. And
But
this
this,
yeah.
basically, the sandbox is something like an UAT, is it?
Yeah, basically, in productions, you cannot do any development work. So for that, what you need to do, you need to create a sandbox. So we have a 4 different type of sandboxes: developer sandbox, developer pro sandbox, partial copy sandbox, full copy sandbox. Now, depends on the behavior. Let's say like if you are doing the development, you can go for a developer sandbox. If you are go for like any integration test or like a functional test, you can go for a developer pro or partial copy sandbox. Then if you are doing any UAT or if you are giving a client to do the UAT testing, I would say like go for a full copy sandbox. Then once if you are happy all this, then we need to push the changes into our productions. So
Okay.
like the wordings, UAT, staging, these are all just a name of the sandbox which user can go and define it. Ourselves, we can define it. So after once the recording is stopped, I will show you like one of my the general sandbox procedures, how we will create it. So yeah. So from the sandbox, if you want to push into productions, generally like we will use the chain set, or we can use like Ant migration tool, like either Workbench or Ant migration tool. But these are all bit of complicated. Chain set is the easiest way for admins. Okay. So on employees, we have like how many fields? 56 fields. And what is the API name of the fields? Easily you can go and identify. And each fields, what operation you can perform. Can this field will be aggregatable, API predictable, auto numbers. So these are all the advanced topic basically, but you can go and identify whether this field is unique and what is the data type, whether this field is shortable. So and restricted pick list or query by distance. This field cannot be used. These are all the attribute we call it as. Each field will have so many attributes. So whether this field will support that attribute or not. And in this object, how many relationship, child relationship. You will see in user interface level, there is no relationship for employee. We have a, like only one salary, right? This is the only one object we created. But in backend, you will see how many object will be linked automatically in the backend. It's linked to a activity, it's linked to a agent, it's linked to attachments, it's linked to a collaboration group. Collaboration group is the chatter group basically. Contact request, email message, feed, history, share. These 3 objects will create automatically. Yeah. So if you want to know more about that particular object, the Workbench is the nice tool to go and analyze like the objects and details. Okay, and the record types, like yeah, what are the different types of record types, and there is ID. So you can use sometimes like this record type ID or names, you can use it. So this is the tool, like a easy way you can go and analyze it basically. Like additional information you will get it about the object or fields, everything. And also this utility will help you to do like some kind of development work again here also. So Apex executions, here I can execute my Apex code. So I can do the Apex code, or I can execute the validation rules. Yeah, here itself we can execute the validation rules, workflows. Okay. So after typing like any code here, did I type like list of employee code, same code you can type it and you can see the result over here itself. So if I go for developer console, the code is gone now. Okay, let me query this code for sample. List of account, this is equal to name of list of account. Here, it will execute this code. And how many rows? 160 rows. It will give, and here is the result. So each record you will get it over here. It will go beyond actually. They put a dot 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 because there are more records. They put a dot dot dot. So again, if you want to see it, just click on it. It will open like all the detail of the record. And if you want to view in Salesforce, simply you can click on it. And if you want to update it here itself, you can update the Salesforce records. Okay. So that is the main use of Workbench. Okay. So I think like the knowledge base, I will leave it now. We will go through it like on Thursday. So along with that, you guys like put your one topic, like if you want to go through it additional topics, like yeah, so put it again. So we'll go through it on Thursday. So after that, what I will do, I will try to share the exam questions. So
Yeah.
go through that exam question also, and we can have a mock test on maybe next week.
Okay, Sampath.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just I will stop recording.